I saw one of the elders' wives playing with the trees when I got here. So maybe one of these days Jenny will be an elder's wife playing with the trees at church. That'll work out very well all around. There's no life group here at the building today due to Christmas party for elders and staff. The life group knows that. I'm just reminding the elders and staff that we have a Christmas party tonight at 6 o'clock at the house. If you missed that word, we're looking forward to that time together. And I think we'll have a good time. I did not know that you could send a virus through a text, but Byron did last night, evidently. He sent a text in. He was in Temple, was planning on coming in, but he said, I have no voice. And this morning he has a fever and is still down a little more. Well, at 2:20, I woke up this morning and had to go to the medicine cabinet and empty it in to try to keep my voice this morning. So if you get a text from anyone that's sick, for the next 6 hours, take your vitamin C, load up, get ready. They may be trying to send you something. I think it was in the air that came in the front that hit about that time. And I'm not bad at all, and I have no fever, and I have no issues other than I just couldn't help Doug sing this morning. You know how much I love to sing, and it was frustrating to not be able to join in a bit better. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. She thought she'd get a moment on the back porch with a cup of coffee. She actually woke up about 30 minutes early, headed down to the kitchen. As she got halfway down the hall, she heard one of the kids throwing up in the bathroom. She stopped, got the wet washcloth, touched the forehead, checked the illness. As she came out of the bathroom, her husband drowsily hit the hall. I forgot I've got a breakfast meeting this morning and I've got to wear a tie and I don't have a shirt iron. He showered. She ironed. The other kids had to get up. The school bus wasn't going to wait. She got breakfast for everyone. She only needed that minute, that early morning minute on that back porch. But the kids piddled while they ate. The bus came and went. And she had to bundle up the sick child and take all the kids to school to make the delivery that was there. She just needed a minute. Many of you moms and dads understand that completely. All you need is that minute. You just need to center down and pause. You just need to have it calm. I picked 4 or 5 of Byron's songs for him this morning that Doug had to sing. So I picked calm songs. As the deer pants for the water. Think about needing that calm. Dear Lord and Savior of mankind. We don't sing that one a lot, but I love that song, and it has that calming dimension that goes along with it. We need to have those moments of silent night where we just are quiet for a little while. We need a moment. And the question is, what do we do when we can't get that moment? We just need a minute and we can't get it. The mom who just has it snowing on her all morning long and is never able to catch her breath. She never gets the cup of coffee. The day just goes by and she crawls into bed dreaming of the next morning when she might get a cup of coffee because the day just didn't go the way she thought it might. Jesus has one of those days in Matthew chapter 14. We're not going to reread what Brian read earlier. It's a flashback and a funeral. Oh, there's an arrest that comes. And we remember how John the Baptist was arrested because he preached against King Herod having Philip's wife, Herodias. And how the girl danced and made Herod so excited that he says he'll give her whatever she wants. Give me the head of John the Baptist on a platter. I don't know, that's a gross party, isn't it? 15 minutes later, a couple of guys come in with a platter with a head on it, hand it to her. And she turns around and hands it to her mother. Happy birthday, Herod. Right? Long live the king, John is dead. At the end of that, it said that they went and claimed his body and buried it, and went and reported to Jesus. So Jesus starts out his day with the information that his cousin has been killed, arrested falsely or for preaching the truth, and now executed in the prison because a girl danced real well. And his relative is dead. But it's not just his cousin passing. It is the way preparer. John the Baptist is Elijah, if you will, and he is the one who has come to prepare the way for the Messiah. And now, if you've ever been in that role in your family, where the generations start to graduate to heaven, and you've lost your grandparents, and even at 20, 25, you step up a generation, and your parents are now gone, and you realize, wait a minute, we've stepped up a generation in time, and we're now the patriarch, matriarch that everybody says they'll be the next to go. And you pray that you are. That's the order that it should come in. You pray that you are the next to go. But you know it's coming. Jesus is one step closer to the cross because the one who was preparing the way for him to be the Messiah has also prepared the way for his execution and has now modeled an earthly king puts John the Baptist to death. And Jesus can see a cross. He knows it's on the way. When he heard that, he went down to the sea. Well, here's what it says. We're now down in Matthew 14, verse 13. When Jesus heard about John, he withdrew from there in a boat to a secluded place by himself. He needed a minute. You see Jesus walking down to the Sea of Galilee, crawling in a boat, grabbing the oars, and going to a secluded place. Maybe you've got one of those fishing holes that no one knows about. Maybe it's far enough away, remote enough that no one likes to go there. That's why you go. Jesus has no place for his head, so he doesn't have a back porch to sit on and drink his coffee. So he gets in his boat and rows to a secluded place. As he gets out of the boat, some people had already had a conversation about Jesus that morning. Where is Jesus? Well, he's not around here. He took a boat and left. I wonder where he went. I bet he went to that place. We saw him there once. Let's try up there. And they begin to head that way. And as they begin to head that way, it's a fervor in the countryside, and the community starts to come. And somebody says, well, where are you going? Well, we're going to see if we can find Jesus. And as Jesus gets out of the boat, needing a minute, I just need a minute. My cousin's dead. I've been moved up a generation. I can see the cross in front of me. I need to process. Here's what happens. Verse 13. When the people heard of this, they followed him on foot from the cities. When he went ashore, he saw a large crowd and felt compassion. He felt compassion for them and healed their sick. Go back a slide, Peter. He says, I need a minute, but I've got 5,000 people are going to show up. I just need a minute. 5,000 people show up. And that doesn't count the women and children. There could easily be 6,500 or more people there. And I don't know about you moms, and I don't know how you feel when you walk down the hall and you hear someone throwing up in the bathroom, but it's pretty hard to not sigh right then, right? Here we go. You good moms are great at that. right? I feel compassion. I know where my ministry is. I know what I need to be doing right now. And you go 10. And that's what Jesus does. He's just got people coming, and he feels compassion for them. It's really, really hard sometimes when your personal need is to just take a minute and you have to be constantly giving, where you can't afford for your bucket to be empty. As badly as it is emptied, and as bad as you need a minute to just sit and be with God, you don't even have a minute to pray. And people keep showing up. He healed their sick. Verse 15, when it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This place is desolate and the hour is already late. So send the crowds away that they may go into the village and buy food for themselves." Jesus said to them, they do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. They said to him, "We have here only 5 loaves and 2 fish." He said, "Bring them here to me." Bring them here to me. If you're watching The Chosen, have watched The Chosen, one of my favorite scenes in the whole series was the feeding of the 5,000, where masses are there and crowds are there, and Jesus starts praying and breaking. And meals start showing up. And communion, as Robert said, is just passed up and down the rows. And it becomes quieter and quieter. I mean, they saw what he started with. I mean, the guys on the front row might get a bite. Wait a minute. The front row got to eat? And they're passing it back? Wait a minute. That whole group has already eaten? And they're still bringing the food? I mean, everybody's going to get a nibble now. Oh, 5,000 men plus women and children. And they're all going to eat until they are satisfied. And then they're going to pick up 12 baskets full. That is an awesome miracle. It may be one of my favorite miracles that Jesus does. And he does it all on the day when he needs a minute. If I'd have been Jesus that day, I think I would have enjoyed simply saying, "Fish and bread for everyone." Poof. You all got it. Let's go. Fast serve. Quick miracle. No, it's break the bread after blessing. Share, share, share. It takes a while to feed 6,500 people. 19, ordering the people to sit down on the grass, he took the 5 loaves and 2 fish. Looking up toward heaven, he blessed the food, and breaking the loaves, he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowds, and they all ate and were satisfied. They picked up what was left over of the broken pieces, 12 full baskets. And there were about 5,000 men who ate, besides women and children. We made it through the day. You know, there were sermons through the day. There's healing through the day. Jesus is still looking for that minute. And he's about to get it. But he has to craft his timing. It's now evening. And so the first thing he does is says, "You disciples, get out of here. You guys just get in the boat and go. I'll send the crowds away. I'll disperse this group that just ate and was healed." We don't know how he does that. I have this picture of the preacher standing in the foyer, everybody coming by and shaking hands when you want to go home and watch something. No, don't do that. I love to have your hands. Jesus, how does he disperse that crowd? He's waiting. He's waiting. The crowd is finally gone. And he gets his minute. Immediately, 22, he made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side, and while he sent the crowds away. After he had sent the crowds away, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. And when it was evening, he was there alone. when it was evening, he was there alone. Finally, after that day, I get the funeral news, and then I get the crowd absorbing my time. And finally, it's quiet. And for 6 or 8 hours, Jesus just prays. He just prays. Until it's the fourth watch of the night. Their nights are broken into those watches. It's 6 to 9, 9 to noon, to midnight, midnight to 3, 3 to 6. It's the fourth watch of the night. It's somewhere after 3 in the morning when Jesus comes down out of his prayer time. He found his minute. The only way you can survive in this world is to find your minute. The only way that you can replenish is to spend time with God, is to spend moments in that prayer, to have that solitude. He needed that solitude so very badly. I don't know if he was finished or not, but his friends are in trouble. Professional sailors out on the sea are sailing along with a contrary wind, and they've been sailing for as long as he's been praying. And it's after the fourth watch of the night, and they're only going 5 or 6 miles. The winds are contrary. No one knows exactly where Gennesaret is. That's why we don't know how far they actually went. Somewhere between 5 and 10 miles. Along came Jesus, walking on the water. Remember that song, right? It's the fourth hour of the night. It's after 3 in the morning. We've been battling this storm all night. And here comes someone walking on the water. It's Jesus. No, it's his ghost. Can't be Jesus. It's his ghost. Lord, if it is you, command that I come to you on the water, Peter says. Come. That's all he says. Here's how it's recorded. Verse 24. But the boat was already a long distance from the land, battered by the waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, he came to them walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It is a ghost." And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come." Probably my second favorite miracle. The feeding of the 5,000 and the walking on the water all in the same 24-hour period after Jesus hears about John the Baptist being killed. Come. Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water. I love that part. Peter's out on the water, walking on top of the water. Now, the water's not calm. It's got storms going, seas going. The wind doesn't die down until they get back in the boat. And so we've got Peter out walking on the water coming toward Jesus. Amazing. Awesome. But Peter is the everyman. Peter is representative of you and me. So as he's following Jesus, suddenly he sees the storm. How many times have you been following Jesus and got distracted by the storm of life? The winds of sorrow, the loss of tragedy, the distraction of the evil one, anything to take your eyes away. Well, in verse 30, seeing the wind, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." The only time you should ever be frightened in your life is when you encounter something you don't think Jesus can handle. That's what Peter does here. Peter encounters something he doesn't think Jesus can handle. He's worried, he's lost from his only declaration is, "Lord, save me." And Jesus does immediately. But that's when we find ourselves swamped and sinking. "Lord, save me." It's because we think we've encountered something Jesus can't handle. We needed a minute that we never got, and we're so downtrodden and discouraged that we don't think Jesus understands or he can handle that. And Jesus says, let me tell you about a day I had. Been there, done that. I understand what you're going through. I can handle the difficulties of your life. Immediately, Jesus stretched out his hand and took hold of him and said to him, you have little faith. Why did you doubt? I don't really think that's condemnation. I don't think that's really disappointment in the voice of Jesus. I think it's just declaration. And I don't think he's doubting what he can do. I think he's doubting that Jesus can handle what he needs handled. And that we do all the time, right? I just really doubt Jesus can handle what I'm going through. I doubt that Jesus can really control. He can't really fix what I need fixed. And Jesus says, you have little faith. Why did you doubt? When they got into the boat, the wind stopped. That's a kicker. That ought to convince you right there. Sit down in the boat, dead calm. That's got to be the freakiest feeling there is, right? I mean, Jesus sits down in the boat and suddenly there is no problem. The water is perfectly calm. No wind. And those who were in the boat worshiped him, saying, you are certainly God's Son. Amen. You are the Son of God. Look how the day continues. Verse 34. When they had crossed over, they came to the land at Gennesaret. And when the men at that place recognized him, they sent word into all the surrounding district and brought to him all who were sick. And they implored him that they might just touch the fringe of his cloak. And as many as touched it were cured. Boy. Jesus hits the shore again and is immediately recognized. He's famous. You don't get a minute when you're famous, not when people need you. You're our only hope. You're the one we need. We heard you were healing. We didn't know if the healer would ever come to our territory. We didn't know if we'd get a chance at him. And now the healer has shown up in our territory. Go get all of your sick friends. Go tell everyone you know that the guy that heals people is here. And they have great faith. And they just come to Jesus. If we can just touch the hem of his garment, we'll be okay. And they, well, you know, they're pawing Jesus, right? How does he stand that? He stands that because he got his minute. He stands that because he spent 8 hours with his Father. He stands that because after feeding all those people, he went and he was fed, and he listened in the solitude to the voice of his Father. I'd love to know what they prayed about that night. What Jesus and the Father communicated on. Hey, I got word this morning that John was killed. Yeah, that's right. That means it's getting closer, doesn't it? Yeah, that's right. The cross is on the way. That's right. But you're going to walk with me. That's right. I'm in a pretty big storm right now, Father. I got you. I'm going through some emotional waves. I understand. I'm going to fill you up and fuel you up so you can go and touch them up until you bring them up. And that's what he does. Here's your take home this morning. Did you like my little ripple? Jesus needs solitude personally. If the Son of God needs to go have a minute, so do you. Don't be ashamed when you need a minute, and don't be bashful about needing a minute. Get a minute. And when you're all interrupted for all those minutes and you can't get a minute, just do what moms have to do until God gives you the minute. Remember that he filled his Son up, and he's going to fill you up and carry you through that day. But what fuels his renewal in such moments? It's that hanging out with God in the middle. He shows up for us when we're in need. Jesus never fails to show up. I need you. Here I am. I'm tempted and I can't find a way out. There's the window. I told you that there wouldn't be a temptation, that there wasn't a way to endure it. Look around, stop, pause. It's not the end. Take a breath. Something else is coming. I wonder what it'll be like when I lose my breath. Jesus, I'm a little worried about losing my breath now. He said, don't worry about losing your breath. Your breath is not your life. My spirit, my breath is your life. And you're going to live even if you lose your breath. If you live and believe in me, you will never die. Do you believe this? And he shows up for us when we're in need. How do we balance showing up with our own personal spiritual health? A lot on the news about mental health, about need to take care of yourself, about a way to find a resource. And we have to find that balance, don't we? And there are people that become recluse and say, well, I just have to take care of myself. I don't have anything to give. I don't have anything to offer anyone else. Jesus won't let you do that. Jesus says, let me fill you up so you can go minister, be my hands and feet in the world. But he also won't make you go minister without filling you up. So you have to find a way of balancing your own personal spiritual health with the constant needs that are placed on you. Do you use prayer to refill your emotional reserve? How are you trying to fill that up? There's all sorts of ads on TV for medications. I'm not against them. I don't understand them. I don't understand how they work. I'm scared of the side effects that they read at the end of those ads. It doesn't mean that somebody doesn't need those meds, right? Not decrying aid. But how do you personally begin to feel yourself? Are you going to the mountain? When you get there, do you go to sleep or do you spend the night in prayer? Sleep may be what you need. That's okay. God knows that. God also knows when you just need to talk to him. God, no one in this world understands. I know. I'm the only one that's going through this right now. I know. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. I understand. God had all of those conversations with his own son. And his own son made it through. Not just through the day, but all the way through. And he'll take you through if you'll fall on him. Maybe a strange lesson about the feeding of the 5,000 and the walking on the water, but I'm convinced the context asks us to be sure and see the day Jesus has. I need a minute. When you get your minute, take it. Don't pick up your phone. Don't let Facebook tell you what's important. Take a minute and be with God. And let God refuel you. Because he knows what's coming. And he'll walk with you as you go through it. Together we stand and sing.